Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Hilmi Ang, and today, welcome to Al-Khadim's very own Dzulhijjah podcast. With me is our panel of Asatizah. Firstly, Ustaz Adli Saad and Ustaz Zaki Rosman. Okay, so in this podcast, we do have a few questions that we usually get from the public or from not yet maybe born Muslims or not yet Muslims or revert Muslims regarding this special month. So we did compile 20 questions, and we have our panel of Asatizah here to help us understand better what is the significance of the month of Dzulhijjah. So let's begin. All right, Ustaz Adli Saad, may I please request for you for a short introduction to our viewers at home.
Baik, bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My name is Adli Muhammad Saad. I am Director of Islamic Affairs in Al-Khadim. I'm currently staying in Shah Alam. Married, one daughter.
Alhamdulillah. And I believe that Ustaz, for most of the evening classes that we have here in Al-Khadim is conducted by Ustaz Ali Saad.
Yes.
Very knowledgeable. And Ustaz, you graduated from Yemen?
Yes. In Sana'a, the University Al-Iman, Sana'a.
Subhanallah. It's great having you here, Ustaz. Okay, next up would be Ustaz Zaki. He is no stranger to cameras. Okay, this is our Tajweed master, Ustaz Zaki Rosman. Can you please introduce a little bit about yourself, Ustaz Zaki?
Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'du. My name is Muhammad Zaki bin Rosman. I am the principal of Academy Tajweed Al-Khadim. So I teach Tajweed here, teach how people how to read Quran and how to improve their recitation of Quran, insyaAllah. And also I'm here to assist Sheikh Hussein E in all of his office affairs, insyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. All right, so you have it. This is our panel of Asatizah today. Very knowledgeable. May Allah preserve them. And they are here to help us understand better, okay, of this sacred month. Shall we begin? Okay, the first question to Ustaz Adli. Ustaz, is Qurban really compulsory?
Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Qurban means slaughtering certain animal, cattle like cow or sheep, goat or camel on the 10th of Dzulhijjah until 13th of Dzulhijjah. It's actually something that is actually encourageable, even though some of the hadith like narrated by Ibn Majah and Ahmad that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kana lahu si'atun," whoever have a vastness or opportunity in his wealth, walam yudahi, and he didn't do the Qurban or didn't slaughter any animal on that days that I mentioned, fala yaqribanna masjid musallana, then don't he come near our place of prayer. The words is actually like being mentioned by the companion and the scholars after the companion, even though the word is quite harsh when the Prophet said, don't he go near our place of prayer, because he have the opportunity, have the means, can slaughter, can do the Qurban on that date, but he doesn't want to do it, then don't come near our place of prayer. Even though the word is harsh, but every scholars understood from the meaning, from the saying of the Prophet, is actually encourageable, not obligated.
I see.
Obligated. But like we said, the word is harsh because on the day, or on the 3 day, or the 4 day, 10 of Dzulhijjah, 11, 12 and 13, the best act of worship that you can do on those days are slaughtering the animal.
Subhanallah.
Other than doing the takbir. Just slaughtering animal, and you eat it, you feed others, and you can give it to anybody else if you want to. Just essentially for that occasion, for you to for the remembrance of what being done by Ibrahim alayhi salam, Abraham to his son Ishmael. So it's encourageable, not obligated, but so being implement or emphasize upon those who have the means. You can pay for your internet 200 ringgit per month.
Exactly.
You can pay for your Netflix or your Astro channel, but you cannot have any money to do the slaughtering. It's so poor for you.
Correct. You can subscribe to so many commitments, but not subscribe to the commitment of Allah. Astaghfirullah.
That's the thing.
Exactly. And the significance of it, I can tell why our Prophet placed such big emphasis on it. It's because of the event that took place,
Yeah.
Ustaz, where Prophet Ibrahim was asked to sacrifice his only son.
His only son at
At that time.
Ismail.
Exactly. For the sake of Allah.
Yeah. Even though Allah Ta'ala is just testing him from his dream, that he saw in his dream that he doing that. Then the dream of the prophets, or the prophet and messenger of Allah, is actually a revelation from Allah. That's why he asked his son, I saw in my dream that I slaughter you. And the son saying to his father, Ya abatif alma tu'mar. Oh my father, beloved father, do what being told. You will find me that I am from among those who have passion. Really, that the thing that is so significant for you to understand. Even though Allah Ta'ala doesn't want that blood from him. Right. Even he just went there, he saw whatever he saw, and he placed his son, Ismail. Then after that, Allah Ta'ala released all the obligation. And Allah Ta'ala replaced Ismail with a big sacrifice.
That's where the sacrificial livestock comes in.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
Because of that. It's not really about you slaughtering your children, but really about you to understand that Abraham, when he actually get Ishmael as the firstborn, he didn't have any son. And he married his wife, Sarah, for more than 80 years. Doesn't have any children. But that's the first children that he have.
Exactly.
So Allah testing him with that.
Exactly.
And he is doing that because of Allah. Because of that, you have to understand the concept and the history and the concept, and also why in Islam you have to do the sacrifice. Like we said, you have all that you can subscribe to Cellcom, 300 per month to get a new handphone. You want an iPhone, you replace the 300 per month with the line, or also to paying for the phone. You can pay for your car, you can pay for everything. But for Allah, there's something that you have to have that obligation also. Wallahu a'lam.
Exactly. So it comes to show that, how much, Allah can give us trials, can give us blessings, but ultimately it comes to show that how much do we truly love Allah? You see, is it for this world or is it because of Him? Subhanallah. Thank you, Ustaz. Okay. So, and one more, circling back to that. Can any animal be offered as korban, Ustaz?
Okay. Because of that, when I mentioned earlier, the word cattle being used, the only animal that be used for korban, for all the for sacrifice, is actually from the tree family. Means that camel and whatever from its family, llama, the alpaca, the one that actually being hurt, they kept as a herd for the family, for the human. Cow in its family, the buffalo, the cow, bison and everything. If the bison being kept as a herd, not as a wild animal, yes. Because must be cattle, you must be kept by human.
As a livestock.
Livestock.
Okay,
And also sheep and goat. From the family and its family. So from that only the sacrifice be taken, and also the age must be certain. For camel must be more than 5 years. See, you can see that actually so big. 5 years old camel so big.
Exactly.
Okay. For the cow must be 2 years old and above. For the sheep or goat can be after 6 months, complete 6 months, you can slaughter it. Or for the goat must be 1 year, complete entering 2 years. So it have particulars. You cannot slaughter for the sacrifice. You can for the sacrifice, for the korban, you cannot do a chicken, deer, because the deer is even though some people have the farm, they kept deer inside it, but the deer is not a livestock. Okay, what is the difference? When you kept like the cow or the sheep, when you release it, it will come back to your house. But if you kept the deer, You release it, you go inside the jungle. You not return to your place anymore.
And also, I logically, based on my own logic thinking, since you can't get milk from a deer. Exactly, you can get milk from the deer. Correct.
So that is the type, and that's the age. The age it must be particular, and also the animal must not be crippled or having any incompleteness in its body, because if I have only one ear, not the other is not there, or one horn, not the other horn is not there, so it's not cannot be. The animal must be complete. So cannot be too thin, doesn't have any meat. It cannot also. So it's particularly because on that day the animals you slaughter, it's really for the meat, for going to eat and to give away. So if it doesn't have any the completeness or sick, you cannot slaughter it as sacrifice. It must be the best.
The best of the best.
The best of the best.
Subhanallah, inshallah. Thank you, Ustaz Azli. Okay, so for the next question, this is for Ustaz Zaki. I heard that there's some rules regarding clipping our nails and cutting our hair. Okay, so the question is, do I have to cut my nails or hair if I do the korban, sacrifice? Can you please help explain further?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ba'du. They say that if Ustaz Azli is here, you cannot ask questions to anybody else but Ustaz Azli. So for the sake of content, inshallah we will do it. I will answer, inshallah. The easy ones, Okay, Bismillah. So, about clipping the nails and hair, for those who wants to offer the sacrifice, yani al-udhiyah, so they have to refrain from taking away some of their nails and hair, from the beard, from the hair, and from any parts of the body when the Dzulhijjah is in. When we are entering Dzulhijjah, the first Dzulhijjah.
First Dzulhijjah. Okay.
First Dzulhijjah. As the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمْ هِلَالَ ذِي الْحِجَّةِ وَأَرَادَ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ يُضَحِيَ فَلْيُمْسِكْ عَنْ شَعْرِهِ وَأَظْفَارِهِ. So the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, authentic, whoever saw the hilal of Dhul Hijjah, which means the moon of Dhul Hijjah, and he wanted to sacrifice an animal for the month of Dhul Hijjah, for the udhiyah, so let him refrain from taking anything from the nails and from the hair. So which means you cannot cut it until you sacrifice the animal. That is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So one note we have to take is, in Islamic timing calendar, we entered during the Maghrib time.
Correct.
The Maghrib,
Correct.
when
As
the
you
Maghrib
follow
enters,
the lunar calendar.
yeah, we do follow the lunar calendar. So when Maghrib's in, that is the starting of the day. So Dhul Hijjah, you have to be careful when entering one Dhul Hijjah. So you have to cut your nails and your hair before Maghrib.
Entering Maghrib. I think most would have thought it was Fajr. So entering a new day, and then actually when in essence, the day starts for us as Muslim during Maghrib.
Inshallah. That's why you see when Ramadan, we start to pray Tarawih after Maghrib, right?
That makes sense.
Before the morning of the first Ramadan.
That makes sense.
Wallahu a'lam. If Ustaz Ali want to correct me, you can.
No correction. Alhamdulillah. Correction. Alhamdulillah.
Did our Prophet mention why that we should refrain from cutting nails, or is there any reason to it?
Ustaz Ali, is there any reason, Ali?
Actually, there's no reason. Only that is really from the adab. The adab, etiquette. For those who want to sacrifice. Actually, because those who went to Hajj, they will start to not get, when they entering ihram,
Understood.
they cannot do taking any of their hairs, and any part of their body, hairs or a nail, starting from their ihram. If you recite in the Surah Al-Baqarah 96, wa atimul hajjal lillah. Wala
tahliku ru'usakum hatta yablughal hadyu mahillah.
Don't you shave your hair until the sacrifice animal arrive at its place for slaughtering. That is the 10th of Dzulhijjah. So they don't take any hair from their body. So the same for those who do the sacrifice, also following that. Only that there is not obligatory, like being said by Ustaz Zaki. It's really an etiquette for those who etiquette for those who do the sacrifice.
Understood.
Because if you don't take it for 2 weeks, I don't know how long it will happen for your nail,
Exactly.
even your mustache, and or your armpit. What will happen? I don't know. 2 weeks.
I mean, as opposed to, you know, when people seem to compare Islam to Islam, saying that, you know, we as Muslims, we do have our own rituals as well that we need to follow. You know, what Allah has revealed, we do not. Sometimes we follow. We just follow it.
Yeah. Without any, you say, what is the reason?
Exactly.
You want to know the reason, it's okay. But you want to tie the act with the reason.
It's something that the human mind cannot comprehend sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So the next question for Ustaz Adli. Can a person eat before the korban?
Eat what?
Can a person just have food?
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Exactly. Actually, from the etiquette also of those who doing or going to the Eid prayer, if in the Eid of Fitr, means that after you fasting, the Ramadan, the etiquette that before you go to the mosque, you eat something from before you go to the mosque. You eat some dates, because the Prophet did that to show that he is not fasting. But about the Eid al-Adha, there is actually some etiquette that the Prophet didn't eat anything until he eat from the sacrificed animal. But the problem is like this. If in our time right now, we are not doing like that. You're not doing things like that. You know, because if you want to wait for the animal to be slaughtered and to be skinned and to be cut off, to be cooked, maybe until noon you didn't eat anything. If in our way, because I went to in one place where one of my friend invited me to his house in Ib. One of province in Yemen. Okay. You know, when I went there, actually they after the Eid prayer, people will go back to their home, start to slaughter the animal, and they will start by taking off the internal organ of the animal and send it to the kitchen, and you actually having your breakfast with that particular part, with the bread and everything, you eat it. So
the organs.
The organ, yes. So they start with that. So like I said, if you want to implement this type of practice in our country, it's actually so difficult. You know, because we are not doing that, and certainly because the friend that I went to his house was the son of the chief of the tribes. You know, when I actually after the prayer, I start to want to take off my clothes, to want to help for the slaughtering. He said, no, just sit. You know, who he has a helper, or we say Khaadem. Khaadem, Khaadem. He has a Khaadem to do that everything for them. So the children of the chief of the tribes just staring from the window. The person doing that everything there. So we actually eat the first thing we eat on that day is things from the animal. But the problem is, like I said, it's the etiquette. You can eat anything, nasi lemak or anything before the slaughtering, or even during the slaughtering. But the way that being done before by the Prophet ﷺ, he will not eat anything except the first food that we eat on that day from the slaughtered animal. So this is quite difficult for us to do. For us, because they actually do it quickly. You know, they clean up and they send it to the kitchen. So the people in the kitchen will cook for them, and they will eat. While the animal being skinned off and cut off, we are already eating. So they actually, those people there will send the meat after that, and during the noon we'll eating the rice with that particular. So the way they arrange it, you are eating the first food from that animal particular. So if you want to do the etiquette, yes, don't eat anything until you eat from the sacrificed animal. But the problem is, like I said, in our country, in our society, we don't really do that fast.
I see.
Not really that fast, you know, taking all the organ and sending it to the kitchen. If you can do that, alhamdulillah. If not, alhamdulillah also.
So some Ustaz, they will do the sacrifice on the second day of
second day,
first day
in
Tashriq.
Malaysia.
Yeah. Some even at the end of the Tashriq day.
Tashriq day.
Third day. Tashriq. So we have to wait until late. No lah. It's very.
I see. So these are the cultural differences.
There you go, yes.
I see. So before Kurban, when do we start, like let's say, not eat until the animal is slaughtered?
No, actually, in the night you can eat. Actually, because before you go out from your house, that is the thing.
See. Before, let's say, before going out for the Eid prayer.
You don't eat from that. It's
see.
like the opposite of Aidil Fitr. Because in Aidil Fitr, you must encourage to take something to eat to show that you are not fasting today. Because the 10th of Dzulhijjah, you are not fasting actually. It's not the fasting day, and you didn't fast before that. You doesn't have to show that you are not fasting.
Understood.
So you just get out from your house, go to the prayer. After that, go to slaughtering the animal and start to eat from whatever being cut off from the animal.
I suppose that's the case because Idul Fitri is tied up to the month of fasting. That is why you need to show that you are not fasting the day. Whereas this is tied to sacrifice, which is a completely different thing. I see. Thank you. Subhanallah, Ustaz Azli. Okay. So, the next one, it's also for you, Ustaz Adli. Can we do the korban or slaughtering at night?
The slaughtering is actually not meant about night or day. If you return it to the time of Prophet, you don't have that many light in our time today. As long as the sacrifice is being slaughtered after the morning of 10th of Dzulhijjah until before the Maghrib of the 30th Dzulhijjah, that is permissible, day or night.
Before the Maghrib of the 30th?
30th.
So you have
13th of the Dzulhijjah.
So you exactly have around 3 to 4 days.
4
4 days.
So the thing about night or day, it doesn't have any problem as long as you can do that continuously, because the people there in Mina, I think that they're doing day and night. Because the vastness, millions of people is actually paying for their animal to be sacrificed. So I think they cannot do it only on the day. They must do it also in the night. With the lighting in our time today, Alhamdulillah, we can do it on the night. Because there's no restriction from the Prophet ﷺ about day or night. Only that on his time, in the time of the Prophet, the light is not like in our time.
Exactly.
So you cannot imagine that on that time they're using the torch or everything to see whether you're slaughtering rightly or wrong or not. Because after you slaughter, you want to quickly skin the animal. So if
you have limited light, how can you skin the animal?
Yeah, exactly. So there's no any restriction about day or night. Only that the time must be between the morning of the 10th of Dzulhijjah until the 13th of Dzulhijjah, before the Maghrib of 13th Dzulhijjah. That is the time. So day or night actually doesn't have any differences, inshallah.
Subhanallah, that's very convenient. Exactly. The next question is for Ustaz Zaki. Ustaz Zaki, let's say a married couple, okay? Married couple, they always want to do things together. So can a husband and wife do korban together?
So actually it is sufficient for the leader of the household to do a sacrifice for the whole household. For example, for the father, it's sufficient for him to offer one sacrifice for anyone who is living under his roof. For example, the wife, the children,
or the wives.
All the wives. Anybody is under one roof, so it's considered as one sacrifice. Alhamdulillah. It's sufficient.
Speaking from that, let's say, number of wives. But even though each wife have their own children, so even the husband can sacrifice one for 2 different wives with different children.
Must be the same household,
Yeah, actually, the thing that being said by Ustaz Zaki, because in the first house, the leader is the father. Second house, he is also the leader. So, like the Prophet ﷺ, when he slaughtered a sheep for him and his household. When he said, Allahumma hadha min Muhammadin, oh Allah, this is from Muhammad, wa ali Muhammad, and from the family of Muhammad. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. So means that, like being said by Ustaz Zaki, if I feel like I am a father, this is my son. He has another house. So my house is different from his house. Then,
Understood.
but when we talk about a husband and wives, which is so
to the leader of
even so he's saying about this. Some people say that is Al-Khadim promoting polygamy. We're actually saying about the ruling, inshallah.
Correct,
So the husband,
Correct.
he says slaughtering because he's slaughtering for him and his household, whatever his family.
I see. Such convenience, you see. You know, Allah do not, burden a soul beyond that he could bear.
But
Alhamdulillah.
if let's say if the wife wants to do a sacrifice with her own money, tafaddali. No problem.
It's okay.
Ahlan wa sahlan. The more meat you can get, the more meat you can distribute for charity. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Even if the father want to slaughter for his household, but the son want to do inside the house, and the wife want to do, and the other wife, and everybody actually from that house, particular house, you can get more than a sheep, maybe 10 sheep just in the house. It's okay.
It strengthens the household.
Because the Prophet ﷺ, during the Hajj, he slaughtered for himself more than 60 camel for himself only. More than 60 camel. So something that actually considered as the more you can give, the more the merrier. But like being asked from Helmi, the question is, can they share together? Actually, for the husband to do or the wife to do for her for the name of the wife or the name of the husband is okay. Just the household will get all the reward, inshallah.
I see. Everyone can chip in, but it is also sufficient if one leader does it.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. Thank you. All right, the next one. Now that we are talking about sharing, can the korban be shared with non-Muslims? What if a not yet Muslim chips into the portion? How does that work? Ustaz Adli, please.
Looking at Ustaz Zaki. Okay. Actually, about a non-Muslim, two things. From your question, it says two things. One is about for the non-Muslim or non-yet Muslim to eat from the sacrifice. The other one is for them to do the sacrifice also. Means that want to chip in also to do the korban. Sometimes the new Muslim or non-yet Muslim, they want to fast.
Correct.
They want to fast. You fast, I fasting with you. I want to pray, I will pray with you. Learning. And the problem is they want to sacrifice. Is it permissible? Okay. From the eating of the food or the meat of the sacrifice, if the sacrifice is obligatory, means that somebody who actually slaughtered and because of his oath to Allah, because of nadar, or also because of the hajj, kafara, or the hajj that he doing, or the umrah, dam. It's called as obligatory korban.
And this is done by a Muslim.
A Muslim. Okay. Then the meat cannot be eaten by non-Muslim because it's obligatory. Then only can be passed by to those people who are Muslim, because Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran about the meat. He said Hajjul Baligh al-Ka'bah, that it must be a slaughtering that must arrive at the Kaabah, and Kaabah at that time is not being allowed for non-Muslim to come already, because after the opening of Mecca by the Prophet ﷺ on the 9th year of Hijrah. After that, and on the 10th, they are not being allowed anymore to come to Mecca, except they proclaim Shahada. Then only they can enter. So means that when we said that about the slaughtering that being obligated upon the Hajj people or those who do the Umrah, they did something that making them to slaughter an animal. That animal essentially must be eaten by those Muslim only. Okay. About other than that, like in our country today or in Medina or in any places, the people slaughter any animals. Non-Muslim can eat that.
Subhanallah.
Because that is not obligatory, voluntary sacrifice.
Exactly.
Voluntary sacrifice, you can either you eat, you can feed others who poor people, or you can give to the rich people as a gift. So whenever is known like that, so you can give to the non-Muslim. And Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 5, وَطَعَامُكُمْ حِلٌّ لَهُمْ. Your food, and means your slaughtering, is actually halal. It's permissible for those who are not from among you, from the people of the book. So they can eat it. It's not actually forbidden for them, forbidden for them. Because we know that in our country today, in Malaysia, some of those scholars, they said it's not permissible for people non-Muslim. Yes.
I see.
Because you actually among us. That's why you are listening to this ruling. If you sit on the more conventional people, they will say that no non-Muslim will eat from our food or for our slaughtering, because they wrongly understood about the slaughtering. The meat is not sacred. The sacred is the slaughtering. The slaughtering of the animal is sacred. That is the act of.
It's the act of it.
Yeah, not the meat. The meat you can eat it, you boil it, you munch it. You know,
Correct.
you cannot say that don't eat it carefully because it's so sacred. Don't touch it. You know, how can you do something like that? You burn the meat, you cook it on the fire, and how can you say that? You say you must take it as sacred, because some people still are doing it. They tell others to not to throw away the bone just like that. You must dig a hole and bury it.
Astaghfirullah.
Because the sacredness, that is the wrong thing, wrong understanding. So we said about this, and actually around tabi'in, they are doing that. Means that the sacrifice is not obligatory, voluntary. They will give it the meat to others, even though a non-Muslim. They can. Okay. The other thing about the non-Muslim to chip in to go along. You know, we are Khaadem opening, maybe our not yet Muslim. They said that I want one cow for me. Like the Tansi said, I want one portion or one cow. Okay, that is not acceptable, because this is actually obligation or act of worship that will accepted from the Muslim only. You proclaim your shahada, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, then chip in. You do that, then be acceptable. We will happily to do it for you in Al Khaadem. We had that project about arranging the sacrifice even in Malaysia or outside Malaysia. So the first thing, be a Muslim. Claim Shahada, we'll do it for you. If not, we cannot do it for you.
I mean, you see, there are steps to things, and you see, that's how beautiful Islam is. Okay, so we all know that our first pillar is always the Shahada, is the proclamation of faith.
Yeah.
How can you sacrifice, logically speaking, how can you sacrifice something to something you have no faith in? It doesn't make sense at all. Subhanallah. I see. But may all these acts may be a guidance, a form of guidance.
A step for you.
Exactly. To come into Islam. Yeah, Ustaz. Inshallah, subhanallah. Okay, the next one, it's for Ustaz Zaki. Okay. Can Qurban be performed before 8 prayers? Let's say I have something coming up. I can't do it after that. After that, I want to, balik kampung and, yeah. But can I do it first and then I go for 8 prayer? Is it permissible?
Actually, during the time of the Prophet, it happened to a companion. So the companion said to the Prophet, I already slaughtered my animal and I already give it to my family and my friends. And then the Prophet said, Tilka shatul lahmi. These are only sheep for meat, which means it's not acceptable for sacrifice. So the condition is you have to slaughter it after the prayer, after the salah.
Exactly. You gotta follow Allah's way. You gotta do what Allah's like, not your way and then your convenience. Astaghfirullah. Correct, that makes perfect sense. Okay. The next one for Ustaz Adli. Why do some people might say that, the Qurban, how can you do it? It's so inhumane. But we know from research that the most painless, I would say the most humane way of, slaughtering an animal is the Islamic way, you see. So this question comes where they ask, why do cows cry, before Qurban? Is it because of the pain that they know that they are going through, or is it I don't quite understand these questions where people ask as well, but
They
can you
cry,
please justify?
They cry, is it? I mean,
Cry, exactly.
tears, is it?
I like to feel that they know that,
Actually,
Alhamdulillah, I'm being offered to Allah. Will that be true?
Maybe it's the tears of happiness.
Exactly.
Astaghfirullah.
Ustaz, do you have any comment on that?
Hey, firstly about humane or not when you are doing that to the animal. First, we have to know that Allah Ta'ala is giving us, like we said in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 29, Allah Ta'ala said, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He is the one that created everything for you in this world. So hypocrite for people that saying that it's not humane. They said about eating the meat is not humane. At the same time, they actually living in the places that actually they are using everything from the land, from the sea. You want to build a building, you have to take the sand from the river or the cement from the mountain or everything. You have to mix it out together to make a building for you to stay. Even the people actually talking about this, they actually using all the technologies, all the thing, and they actually start to commenting or saying that it's not right for you to do this and that.
Okay.
Actually, when they are actually using this to stop things that saying that they are more human than others, even though so hypocrite. You want to eat bread. Where do you get bread from?
Exactly.
Everything is actually in this world, like being said in that ayah, is created for you to use it. And Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, in the last part of Surah Yasin, awalam yarau, don't they see? Anna khalaqna lahum mimma amilat aydina, that we created from what being done by our hand. An'ama, the cattle, the cow, the camel, the sheep. An'ama, fahum laha malikun, that they actually possessing the animal. Fahum laha malikun. Wa dhallalnaha lahum, and we bow down the animal for them. Actually, if you compare your strength with the camel, with the cow, you usually lose. Only the Allah Ta'ala making you can make that animal, big animal, obey you. Can you see?
Exactly.
Obey you. You say, ha. And every animal will go back to its farm. You can command it. Okay. وَذَلَّنَّهُمْ فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُهُم. From among the animal, will become their carrier, for them to ride. وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ, and from it, they eat. From that animal, they eat.
Walahum fiha manafi'.
وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ وَمَشَارِبُ. And from them, from that animal, manafi'a. Some of them will be for the carrier, for to carry things, and from other things can be done. And from that animal, they drink the milk.
The milk.
So this is actually what Allah had made for us. Okay, over doing it, like we make the farm, the animal to be more than what we need is wrong. Anything we do excessively is wrong. So from that start point about inhumane or not humane, people saying that actually they want to say that we actually manipulating everything, but it is actually created for us. Like we said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He is the one that created for you everything in it, for you to use, for your usage. Okay, even those people that doing the campaign, they're using the internet. The internet is actually created from fiber optic. Fiber optic must take something from the earth.
Exactly.
So sometimes, like I said, hypocrite way of saying. Okay, about the animal being slaughtered, like you said, is the most painless. Something that actually can be understood. Whenever you have your skin being cut by something so sharp, you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything. You don't feel anything actually for 3 minutes at least. You will feel the pain at night when the nerves start to connecting each other. That is the feeling that you have when the nerve is actually reaching each other. That the pain that you have, or the infection happen, then you feel the pain. If not, 3 minutes, the blood is pouring, you don't feel anything.
You won't even realize.
Okay, so when you slaughter the animal, that being put as slaughtering, it must be near to the head far from the body, that is slaughtering. The other one that been done to the camel is nahar, or the neck nearer to the body, further from the head. It's actually it's so different. So this is dabah. When you do the slaughtering, when you do from side to side, the thing that you want to reach is four veins. Four veins actually. The middle one is for the foot and the air. Foot and the air in the middle. And the vein from the right or the left of the neck is the blood flow to the brain, and the blood flow from the brain. That's actually the place. So when you actually slaughtering the animal, like I said, if you use the sharp knife for 3 minutes, the animal will not feel anything. It's just like they said that anything happened because the knife is so sharp. And what you are doing actually, you want to make sure that all the blood being drained out. Why? Because the blood is actually inside the blood, the oxygen, the carbon dioxide. The inside the blood also the nutrition from your intestine being brought to your body, the protein or the everything is from through your blood. And also whatever toxic in your body is also inside. Yes. Because of that, you want to bleed out the animal, and animal that been bleed out is so clean. So clean. Because why do you choose here, not the leg? Because here the brain will ask for new oxygen, so the body will pump all the blood. And when you see the animal is moving its leg, it want to push the blood to the brain when it go out there. That's why you don't cut off the nerve on the hind or the back or the head, because it's still connecting to the body.
I see.
Because
so it's only one way out.
One way out.
One way out.
It's so peaceful. We don't want to say that come I will make you taste it. No, but actually from the scientific method, that is the best way to bleed out the animal that you want to eat, so that all the blood will be outside, not inside the body, and the body will be drain of the blood that may be inside it, all the bacteria, all the venom, all the say toxic that want to be eaten off from the body. So that's why the blood will not be eaten. It's forbidden for you to eat the blood. So the body only. Then it's actually not, you cannot say that it's inhumane.
Exactly.
Because I know that in certain farm, abattoir or the European place, they call it abattoir, sacrifice.
Correct.
So they're using sometimes stun gun, electrical. Say, why should you stun the animal? Why should you hit the animal? Like you hit with the hammer, and when the animal start to being in pain, you slaughter it. Why?
Exactly.
Why? So they actually want to show that they're more human than Islamic way. But when you look at it carefully, the way that they are using it is wrong. Okay, about the tears. About the tears, actually, I don't think so, because all the sheep that I slaughtered never have any tears.
Okay. Maybe they cry.
It's maybe wallahu a'lam. If you look into it, the same being said about the turtle.
Turtles, yeah.
The turtle. When it went to the shore, seashore, and went to bury its eggs, and the eyes become watery because they cannot be in the land more than few hours, because the eye will be dry. So to make sure that the eye is not dry, then the tears is there. Moisturizer, yes, moisturizer, natural moisturizer. So it's really related to that.
Correct.
You know that animal doesn't show emotion like human being.
Exactly.
When human being cry, you ask why. But when animal do something that sometimes is just a natural way for it, maybe because it being strangled by some people. I personally doesn't really like the way that we slaughter the cow in our country. Because people will shout and start to scream, tarik, pull. That way is actually, if you want to say inhuman, I accept it. That's way. Because the way it should be, the animal should be so relaxed.
Exactly.
That's why I always slaughter sheep or goat, because you can manage it by closing its eye, calm it down, and start to slaughter it so relaxed, rather than the cow. You have to give the strength and everything. Unless I think some of the places in Shah Alam, they have a metal like cage. So the animal will go inside there. Only the neck being exposed to the others. So they will slaughter it, and the animal will not be struggling like that. Will not struggle with that.
Exactly.
It's not nice for you to struggle with the animal.
Because you might get injured as well.
You might get injured, and the animal will not be tasty, because when it's struggling with you, the hormone. What you say the hormone when you want to struggle?
Or would it be the
Cortisol.
No cortisol. No cortisol. The hormone that will get out from you when you want to fight.
Okay.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline will go inside its body. So the
People tense up.
tense up.
tense up.
All the muscle tense up. So that's why when people say, you get the sacrifice animal meat, it's not just nice. Not that nice, because it's actually tough. Why? Because of the way of struggling. Yes.
Exactly.
It's not so nice. It's actually being narrated by Abu Ayyub al-Ansari when being asked by one of his friend from the Tabi'in. He asked, how is the sacrifice in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So he said that in the time of the Prophet, his companion and the Prophet will sacrifice a sheep or a goat for himself and for his family household. That is enough. So this thing, like when I went to Arab country, I actually astonished. I didn't saw anybody. I didn't see anybody, and didn't see anybody taking cow with struggling and everything, except if they are Malaysian. It's a project want to sacrifice there. Then you can see. If not, the people there will only take a sheep to his house.
Whichever is convenient.
And to do it in his house only. So nothing happened there. Not more than that, actually. Not more than that. So because of that, it is enough for you to do. But the cow, like I said, the cow, you have to struggle. If a household, everybody is actually woman, I don't think they have the power to strangle the cow to be sacrificed. Allah.
Subhanallah. So the next question will go for Ustaz Zaki. Okay. So Ustaz Zaki, let's say I've done the Qurban, the slaughtering. Who can have the share of the Qurban meat?
So, the Prophet ﷺ said in one of the hadith, you can keep some, and you can eat some, and you can give away some. So, from there, the scholars said you can do it like a third. You can give it like divide to one third. So 1/3 for yourself to keep, and then the rest you can give it to others.
I see.
Especially for the poor and the needy.
Okay. 1/3 for you to eat, 1/3 for you to give it to others, and 1/3 for you to. What's the other? Sorry.
1/3 you can share with others.
Share with
no
others.
problem, If you want to give all also, it's okay, no problem.
I see.
Because you see, there are some community, they only can eat meat only on this moment, on this period of time.
Okay.
So they eat meat only once a year.
Right. Sometimes we do take things as granted. For granted, you see. Meat can be a luxury in certain places.
So you can see this is a very, for them, you can see a very bright face. They're very happy to receive all this meat, etc. So if us who can get, you can keep some. If you want to give all also, it's okay, no problem.
I've heard that our Qurban initiative that we usually do in Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and where's the other? And Cambodia.
I personally went there a few times. So, mashallah, you can see it's like a big celebration because they rarely can get this kind of luxury food. Exactly. For them, they are luxury food. So for us, we eat every day all this meat. For them, ya Allah. So it's very happy, very, very, especially the kids, they really enjoy eating meat. Once a year.
Right, once
a year.
Allah. And I heard the cows in Cambodia are the sizes of our goats here.
Compared, I think here is 3 times bigger. 3 times bigger. There, the cows are very small and very, you can see all the
The ribs.
All the
I see.
yeah, the rib cage is it?
Yeah.
Rib cage, yeah. You see, it's very small and yeah. And then they encourage us, oh, please don't buy for us goats because goats are really small.
Even smaller.
Even smaller. So they say, okay, give us some more cows. So we encourage them to give more. Even though you can, it's better to sacrifice on your place at your local area.
Right.
But some if you have more money, you can
To help
those who are really in need of eating some at least once a year they can eat some meat.
So from here, that Ustaz like you said about three part. One you eat, one you give,
Correct.
give it as a gift
Yep.
to those who actually not the needy, the poor,
Okay.
and the one is actually you actually give it as charity
Yep.
for those who are actually in needs,
Needy, yeah.
the needy or the poor. So if you see that one third, but in the hadith Sahih Bukhari that Ustaz Zaki mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ said to the companion, the first year they said he said to his companion, he said, whoever slaughter any animal after 3 days, it should not be inside his house anymore. So the Prophet forbade them to keep the meat more than 3 days. Either you eat it or give away. For anybody else to eat it. So they done it like that. The next year, when actually the companion came to the Prophet, we are doing it just like the last year. Is it like just like last year? The Prophet said, this year, eat kulu wa at'imu wa dakhiru. Eat, feed, and keep.
Yeah.
You can eat, you can feed, you can keep. The last year, when I telling you not to keep more than 3 days, because people especially having hunger. So I want you all to help each other.
Circumstances of the situation at that time.
And so the Prophet said for them to give it away so that they will helping others because that is the time of hunger. So this year the Prophet said to them, you eat, you feed, and you keep.
Subhanallah, because it's the year of abundance.
Okay. So like being said by Ustaz Zaki, the circumstances will be different. Because if you are giving, because in the hadith that narrated by Bukhari from his companion Uqbah bin Amir al-Juhani, on that hadith actually, the Prophet ﷺ, at this time, even al-Bukhari make the hadith to be inside a topic bab Kismatil Imam al-Adahi bainan nas, chapter about the government is actually giving it away animals for people to slaughter. Means that the Prophet ﷺ, he have a group of sheep that is actually to be slaughtered on the day, so he called his companion to distribute.
I see.
So each family will take one. Each family will take one. So they will slaughter for themselves. And they actually poor. Who will they give it away? They will eat it by their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping it for themselves.
Yeah. So for that, the circumstances like being said by Ustaz Zaki, the meat can be eat and be kept according to the situation. If situation that people doesn't have anything to eat, then
it's
better to give away.
Yeah.
If not, and you are poor, you
Better to keep it for
you have a big ice
Icebox.
box. Actually,
freezer.
You do a big freezer. Then you carry it for you to eat for whole year.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Exactly.
It's actually like that because we return back. The slaughtering is one thing. That is one act of worship.
Correct.
The charity
Act of
is
charity is
another thing. Another thing. Because of that, actually, we if you divided it, then everybody will do the sacrifice. You know, like if I have so much money, either I send it away to the people out there, or I bought a few sheep and distribute it to the poor people to slaughter by themselves.
Correct. And if I have no money,
No money?
I'll just sacrifice and then keep it for my own family.
Yeah.
You see.
It's actually so convenient because Allah Ta'ala never obligated. Because some people using the ayah of 36 of Al-Hajj or before it,
Okay, this one. Ayat number 28.
28. Actually, the word there, fakulu minha wa atimul ba'is al-fakir, and give it feed to those who actually are so worth in their life and also poor. And this ayah number 36, fakulu minha wa ta'imul qani'a wal mu'tar. Eat from it and feed it to those who doesn't need and those who needy. So means that the gift and the charity and you eat. But like we said there, the separation for one third is not obligatory. Why? Because if you said it's obligatory, then eating it will be obligatory also. Fakulu minha. Eat from it. Wa at'imu and feed it. To mean you said that at'imu is actually obligatory.
Yep.
Then eating it obligatory also.
Correct. No matter what you are doing,
Then is actually, let me say, if you want to give it away, it can also.
Yeah.
It's not obligatory. Just for situation.
Exactly.
Only that I heard that few videos, short videos from some people saying that it's not wrong. It's wrong for you to eat. It's wrong for you to do this. It's wrong for you to do that. Actually, when they are saying that without the dalil. If you brought the dalil, then you see that the Prophet never ever put something like that. It's actually just the understanding from some scholars. They recite the ayah. They say, oh, one you eat, one you give as a gift for those who doesn't need, and one for feeding to those who needy. So one third. You see, that is the understanding. They thought they understood.
Also, Ustaz Ali, let's say we are talking about giving away. Okay? So, if let's say I am doing a korban on behalf of someone else, okay? Do I have to put their names on the korban, or do I put my own name, but my intention is for them? So how does that work?
Okay. If the person, you are doing the sacrifice for others, on behalf of others, if the person is alive, and you told him that you want to do it for him, and he knows about it, then it's okay. Because it's actually something that cannot be done just like that. You know, because sacrificing is the same as what you say, fasalli rabbika wanhar. Then pray to your God and slaughter the animal. Means that, like prayer, you don't pray for others.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
But this one you can do it on behalf of others, because the korban or the sacrifice can be said by name, and surely you have to say the name. You have to say the name. Or even in our place, when they make a cow to be sacrificed on behalf of 7 people, so the slaughterer will say all the names, or he said that this is the name of a few person, then he go to Bismillah, Allahu Akbar.
That is why there are portions.
They are portion. The problem is, okay, about the portion. In our country, like answer by Ustaz Zaki, about one sheep can cater for one whole household.
Okay.
We in Malaysia, we always go to one cow for 7 person. We always do that as a big portion of sacrifice. Actually, when we read up from the hadith of what we said before, the hadith of Abu Ayyub Ansari, he said that in the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, the Prophet and his companion were slaughtering a sheep for him and his household and his family.
Right.
Is enough. And when people start to showing off, because of that, at that time, people start to be rich. So people start to slaughter one cow for his household, one camel for his household. So it's become bigger. Okay, the seven portion into been done before. I don't know whether it's actually convenient to say, because we distributing it.
Itulah.
Okay, you cut it. Okay. Because actually, when you say about 7 person on one cow, the Prophet only did it when the animal is not enough. Because if you read the record of 7 person for a cow, 7 person for a camel, on a camel, it's actually been done, if you count it, one, Ibn Abbas who said when the Prophet was traveling with his companion, they will gather their money to buy, and they will slaughter 7 person for one animal. And the thing that they've been done by the Prophet large scale during Hudaybiyah. You know, 1,400 people was there with him. So when they want to take off their ihram, they have to pay sacrifice. So the people is so many, so the Prophet made for one camel 7 person, or one narration, one camel 10 person, and 1 cow for 7 person. Those will be slaughtered and distributed. So basically, that is the second one that the Prophet ﷺ did is during Hajjatul Wada. The Hajj, the last Hajj that ever been performed by the Prophet ﷺ. That, and on that day, it's really known that the animal is not enough. So the Prophet ﷺ did made for the companion to share 7% on 1 cow or 7% on 1 camel. So that is the way. But that is why when I said to you, when I was in Yemen, in Sudan, I'm seeing people, they took 1 sheep to their household.
Right.
They will buy the sheep from the market, get the sheep to their house, and during the morning, after coming back from the Eid prayer, they will slaughter and start to cook and everything. For every family will do it in their house, or on their compound, not doing it in the mosque. You don't do it in the mosque. Actually, we actually having that situation where you have to do it in the mosque.
Why? That is more cultural.
More cultural. Not really from the way that you learn from the Prophet. It's not like that. So meaning that when you say about one sheep is enough, then everybody can do it.
Exactly.
Everybody can do it. I say. But if you want to say about 1 cow, you want to make into 7%, and you want to utter the name. The name must utter. When you utter the name for a cow, you utter the name of the person only. Yeah. But when you slaughter a sheep for you and for your household, you say, Allahumma hadha min adli wa ali adli. You will always say like that. You cannot say the same on the cow. Exactly. You're going to say, oh Allah, this is for this or for other person.
Correct. So, okay, Ustaz, do correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I understand from what you've just mentioned just now. And also, circling back to the very earlier question that you say, the sacrifice is not about the animal.
Yeah.
You see, the animal is just a means of sustenance for us to eat.
Yeah.
It's the act itself.
Yeah.
So I think during, as you mentioned, that we at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when they didn't have enough animals
to sacrifice,
the Prophet would like everyone to share in on the act rather than on the animals.
Not the animal, on the act. Yes.
On the act, exactly. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And you can share on a cow for sure.
For sure. Yes.
So, a whole family can share on a goat because the whole family will eat the goat.
Yeah.
Because you cannot share the goat with others because then it won't make sense which part to go to where. Then the goat is too small to even be shared with other people and their household.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. Now it all makes sense. And then coming from the culture back in Malaysia where everyone does their slaughtering at the mosque, I think it's because also that you mentioned, if it was just a goat, anyone can do it at their backyard. You see. So I think now that as everyone is competing, everyone wants to give a cow. So I guess most of them cannot handle a cow. They'll need to let someone else handle it. So let's just bring every cow to the mosque and then just have a...
Yes.
I see.
That's in the beginning.
So you see culture and religion. Never get those two mixed up. Subhanallah. All right. Thank you so much, Ustaz Azli. So, okay, the next question for Ustaz Zaki.
Yeah.
Okay. Regarding this sacred month of Dzulhijjah. Okay. And I've always heard, the first 10 days of Dzulhijjah is, it's the 10 best days. The best nights is the last 10 nights. Correct. Of Ramadan. But this is the first 10 days. This is the best days. So what do we do in the first 10 days of Dzulhijjah?
Bismillah. So Alhamdulillah, these are what we call the seasons of worship. So like the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and then now the first 10 days of Dzulhijjah. So as the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma min ayamin al-amalu salih ahabbu ila Allah min hadhihi al-ayyam." Yani al-ashr Dzulhijjah. There's no days that the good deeds are more beloved to Allah than these days. Yani the 10 days of Dzulhijjah. So the companions ask, wala jihad fi sabilillah, even though we go to jihad fi sabilillah, wala jihad fi sabilillah. The Prophet replied, illa ar-rajul kharaja bi nafsihi wa malihi falam yarji' min dhalika bi shay'. And then except for the one who goes out for jihad, and then he goes with himself and his wealth, and then he doesn't come back with anything. So
Means he died.
That
He died.
that is the equivalent.
Yeah, the equivalent. Yeah.
That is the best.
It's not only go jihad
And
fisabilillah.
then you come back, it doesn't come.
Subhanallah.
I see.
So this is Allah loves His slaves to perform acts of worship, acts of goodness in these 10 days. So it is more beloved to Allah than other days. So these are what we call the best 10 days of Dzulhijjah of the year. Best 10 days of the year. What you can do, inshallah, you can concentrate on the faraid, on the fardu. For example, the obligatory prayers, do it in congregation, do it on time, and then focus on the nawafil, the voluntary prayers, and then also we can read Quran, you can do charity. So all these good things, and even you can also fast as well in these days. Alhamdulillah. So and also one of the recommended things to do is to say takbir on these 10 days. So you can just say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar for yourself. Yeah.
Subhanallah.
You show your gratitude. You glorify Allah with takbir in these 10 days.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. These are the things that we usually do, or usually, not to say we try to usually do, but it's often overlooked. And Allah doesn't demand much of us. I mean, He doesn't need us. He doesn't need us at all, you see. But He provides such simple solutions to salvation, I would say.
Yeah, that's salvation too.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yep.
Any simple step that you take towards Him, inshallah, He will run towards you.
Yeah.
And I feel that's very beautiful. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Thank you, Ustaz Zaki. Okay. So, another question for Ustaz Adli. Okay. So now, for, let's say, Korban, okay, it's not everyone has the heart to do it.
Okay.
Not everyone, some people are strong-willed, some people even don't say animals, even they want. I have friends who initially wanted to be a doctor, but when they went for practical, okay, and they see blood and they faint. They have to let go of their dreams of becoming a doctor. Okay, so I need to ask: let's say if we've offered for Korban, do we have to be there to see it?
Okay. Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. About witnessing the Korban, there is a hadith that is not authentic. That the Prophet ﷺ told his daughter, or in other narration from to Aisha, to witness the blood to be spilled on the land. Essentially, it is not true. The hadith is not right and not authentic. For us to make it an evidence for us to say to people, you must witness the animal, the slaughtering of the animal. Even though from the other side, to understand that the animal is created for you, for you to use, to take the meat, for you to drink it's actually something that you have to establish. Like when you cut the cucumber, or you cut a tree, it's actually also the creation of Allah, but you have the heart or the means for that. The same you have to understand about the animal that been created for you to be used. If you wrongly have the understanding that this thing is, I feel pity for it, I cannot eat it. I want to say, somebody asked me about that. He said that if I feel pity to the animal that will be slaughtered, can I eat it? I said, are you more passionate than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is the most passionate person, the most merciful person. among human beings, there's nobody is better than him to show mercy, have patience towards others, to look at others to in kind manners. Nobody is better than him. But he himself do the slaughtering by himself. He slaughtered the animal by himself. Means that some understanding must be corrected for the person that to have that feeling. If he have that feeling and cannot be altered and cannot be fixed, then that is the thing that Allah Ta'ala made for him. Inshallah, is nothing wrong there. He don't want to look at the sacrifice. It's okay when you're slaughtered, but you should not have any doubt about either the meat is actually permissible for me because I have that feeling. I know, because you are not better than the Prophet.
Correct.
You must understand that you are not more merciful than the Prophet. Exactly. If the Prophet slaughtered the animal and eat the animal, he doing it by himself.
Exactly.
Means that you should not be. He said that you have a better heart than the Prophet.
Exactly.
Should not. So you have that thing. Yes, it's okay. But from the feeling you want to establish a ruling or actually a thing, no. Because sometimes people have that things, saying that I have passion, I have a weak heart. It's not really about that. It's actually about, the question is, what are you what are you thinking when you look at the animals?
Yes. You're trying to justify your own emotion.
Yeah, your emotion is actually not better than the Prophet. That is the thing. Yes, you can see the slaughtering. No, it's not obligatory for you. It's not obligatory for you. You can see it, you cannot see it, it's okay. Yeah. But because from my childhood, being holding a chicken for my father to slaughter, because my father is an imam.
Yeah.
So people will come to his house, Pak Imam. We say, they bring chicken to be slaughtered. So I am the one who holding the chicken for him. So from my childhood, I know that feeling, and I know that the chicken, I love the chicken. If chicken there, I will feed it with my hand and everything. Exactly. If the time come for me to slaughter it, I will slaughter it. Because it is not the means for me to love it like a human being. Exactly. It is something that Allah created for me to use. Exactly. So you should not say that, I cannot see the chicken. I love the chicken, but when my father slaughter it and my mother cook it, I will eat it. I will eat it.
Most people are like that. I cannot see the do you like meat? Yeah, I love steak. Yeah. Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Exactly. But that's the thing. I think it all comes back to that is the essence of Qurban. Yeah. That is the essence of Qurban.
Yeah. You love it, you sacrifice it.
Exactly.
It's not more than that.
Exactly.
Because life moves on. If you understand that particular situation, you know that everything with you is not for everlasting.
Correct.
Not for you to, I have a chicken, my chicken. Correct. Actually, because I am actually bearing chicken, big chicken, Correct. The chicken that you use to fight. The big one. Actually, from my childhood, I love the chicken. I will stay with the chicken, the chicken behind of my house. And even my father start to worry whether I will not be learning anything. He sent me to learn Islamic teaching because of he afraid that I will become somebody else. So he sent there. So I love the chicken. But like I said, even though I love the chicken, I bear the chicken, I give the chicken, food in my hand. The chicken will come to me. When I come back from school, the chicken will run to me.
Like cats, huh?
Like cat, seriously. Like cat will come to me, I feed it. But at the same time, I will not eat more than what the Prophet did. And you said you love the thing, but it is a means of living for you. Allah created it for you to use. So like I said, you love the chicken, my father will slaughter, my mother will cook, I will eat.
I mean, correct, Ustaz, definitely correct. How do you even rank that above Prophet Ibrahim, who had to sacrifice his own son?
Yeah. How can?
It's nothing. It's
nothing.
You might as well just eat it. Alhamdulillah. Actually, there's two more. There's two more. Okay. One for Ustaz Zaki first.
Okay.
Should we fast on the first 10 days of Dzulhijjah?
Okay, Bismillah. As we know, these 10 days of Dzulhijjah is Allah loves us to engage in doing good deeds, doing righteous deeds. So of it is fasting. Correct. So if you are able to fast from the first day, you can just fast. But be careful that you don't fast on the 10th day. Because, why?
Do not fast on the 10th day.
10th of Dzulhijjah. Why you cannot fast on the 10th of Dzulhijjah? Because it is Eid day. So it's haram. Okay, that's a trick question.
I see.
But especially, you can fast on these days, but especially you have to really focus on the 9th of Dzulhijjah, which is the day of Arafah, where Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-yawmu Arafah, siyamu yawmu Arafah, ahtasibu ala Allahi ayukaffira sanata qablaha wa ba'daha." The Prophet ﷺ said, the fasting of the day of Arafah, I hope that Allah will expiate the sins that comes before it, or before the year and after it. So 2 years of sins, 2 years of sins will be forgiven by Allah, insyaAllah.
What a bonus.
What a bonus, eh? What a bonus. So make sure don't miss this opportunity on the day of Arafah, on the 9th of Dzulhijjah.
So let's say, Ustaz, throughout the whole 10 days, I only fast on the day of Arafah. Will that be okay? Can I do that?
Okay. It's not wajib upon you to fast on other days. Yeah.
We'll still get the bonus.
Yes.
You fast on the only one day. As long as you fast, insyaAllah on the day of Arafah, if Allah accept your fasting, you will get the reward.
Inshallah, maybe I'll be able to fast on the day of Arafah, which is the 9th of Dzulhijjah. Remember, 9th of Dzulhijjah, starting from...
A day from before the Eid.
A day
before the Eid.
Or the day of the gathering of people in the Arafah.
Starting from 8th Maghrib, correct?
Yep.
8th Maghrib. Let's do this. Huh?
Say what?
8 let's do this.
Oh.
No. The fasting starts before Fajr.
Before Fajr.
The same fasting.
Yeah, same fasting. Yeah. On the 9th.
Before Fajr. Sorry.
I mean starts from Fajr until
Maghrib.
lah.
I got it confused because for Ramadan, we start...
But the day
start from
Maghrib.
Maghrib.
The fasting starts from...
Fasting starts before Fajr. Subhanallah.
Don't miss that opportunity.
Exactly. All right. For the final question. This one to Ustaz Adli, may I?
Sadaki also can.
Already. Mine done already.
Okay.
We know what is prohibited to do in the month of Dzulhijjah, or we know what is prohibited as we've discussed just now. Is there anything mandatory that we need to do in the month of Dzulhijjah?
Actually, the month of Dzulhijjah, if not, you are not actually from among those who do pilgrimage, Hajj, then nothing is actually different other than the 10 days that mentioned by Ustaz Zaki. Because actually being said that the month of Haram in Islam, there is 4 months. Rajab, Dhul Qa'idah, Dzulhijjah, Muharram. That's actually the 3 months is gathered together because of the Hajj. 1 month before Hajj, 1 month after Hajj, and the other one is actually before Sha'ban, that's in Rajab. So this month of Haram, we call as Haram, means that you have to respect it. You should not do anything that's actually forbidden by Allah. More on this month than the other month. Even the Arabs at the time of Prophet, peace be upon him, they respected this month, so they don't go to war. Do not go to war on these days. And they stop to looting people, or actually robbing people of their belonging. You know, they rob people, then passing through
Highway
their...
robber.
Highway robber. They rob people, you know, except for the month of Haram. They are doing that except because of that, because the Hajj is here, Dzulhijjah. Dzulqa'idah is here, 1 month before Hajj, 1 month after Hajj. So they will not disturb people on that month.
Okay, Dzulqa'idah,
Dzulhijjah and Muharram. So because of that, we know that the month of Haram is actually whatever being forbidden by Allah become higher. Allah Ta'ala will dislike everything that is actually forbidden to be done inside it. Not to you to discriminate people, to oppress any other people, to disrespect them, to on the belonging or their honor. Everything is forbidden. Only the difference is what we said by Ustaz Zaki about the first 10 days of Dzulhijjah. That Allah Ta'ala love for you. There's no better days that Allah Ta'ala love you to do good deeds better than that 10 days. And also you have the 11th and 12th and 13th for you to continue for slaughtering. So that's the thing. For the people who doing Hajj, they have the other thing for them. They cannot during the Hajj they cannot quarrel. They cannot quarrel. Even quarrel is not allowed. Al Hajju Ashur Ma'lumat. Hajj is a few particulars month. Faman farada fihin al hajjah, whoever perform inside the month Hajj, fala rafath. Don't say anything that will make you to do sexual intercourse even with your wife. Wala rafath. Wala fusuq. And they should not do anything that is bad.
Okay.
Even lying or everything. Wala jidal. And not even quarrel. Fil Hajj, inside the Hajj. You know,
During the Hajj or throughout the month?
No, during the Hajj.
During the Hajj.
So the people actually there doing the Hajj, they have that other three things more they have to be careful about. If they struck it, then they actually be void. Actually, they will doing everything, but in the sight of Allah, they actually doing nothing.
That is
So actually, so scary. Because people start to quarrel about politicians. They went there. You always busy. Anything like that. They start to quarrel. Even the small quarrel, it's not allowed. You have to shut your mouth. Don't ever say anything.
Exactly.
Don't ever say things actually to quarrel to others.
I asked you to wait at the clock tower. Where are you?
I was there.
I see.
Don't quarrel actually. For them, there's additional, additional boundaries that they have to stop. For us, it's not that we say that it's allowed for us to quarrel,
Correct.
but we not void whatever the deeds that we do. But for them, something that essentially will void them. Even if they do the sexual intercourse with their wife during the ihram, the Hajj will be void. They must come next year to do it. For them, that year actually void.
I think we can understand its importance because it is a once in a lifetime thing. Exactly. You want to do something once in a lifetime, you got to do it right. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Barakallahu fikum. Ustaz Adli, Ustaz Zaki, for having this informative and wonderful Dzulhijjah podcast, and inshallah we will be able to return to answer Islamic questions with all these podcasts again, inshallah. Yeah. And to our viewers back home, please, if you have any further questions, always tune in to our classes online. They're all free to public. You can even walk in, to meet our asatiza in person, to get them to learn more, to get to know them better. Subhanallah, knowledge is something that you carry till your grave, and something that you passed on to make this place, our time here and our hereafter better, inshallah. So shall we end this with a tasbih kifarah? Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum.
I was going to ask actually about this bell.